So Alex and I, we kind of share a thing for sleeper PCs. So that's to say, like, ancient junker looking cases with just the most tricked out, water-cooled, overclocked systems inside them that can absolutely shred the latest AAA games while looking like they came straight out of the 70s, 80s, and 90s. So what if we were to take, instead of the best components and give them the old school treatment, the oldest components and give them the new school treatment? I mean tempered glass, RGB, water cooling, full cover blocks, pretty much the works. So that's the goal today. But rather than just taking some entry-level hardware and putting some lights and cooling tubes on it, instead, we put together my dream PC. Not my dream PC today, mind you. My dream PC from when I was in high school, 2004. This was the best of the best, and we are gonna do it up. With GlassWire, you can instantly see your current and past network activity, detect malware, and block badly behaving apps on your PC or Android device. Use offer code Linus and get 25% off GlassWire at the link below. Most of this stuff predates your PC enthusiast days.
Yeah, I was like 11 or so when this came out.
Okay, fair enough. Now, in fairness to me, I wasn't actually that much older, but I was definitely getting into the custom PC scene, and I remember from being a kid, this being pretty much my dream CPU. This was the Pentium 4 Northwood C revision. That means you've got an 800 megahertz front side bus on this puppy, much faster than the 533 of the Northwood B core.
Wow.
It's 2.4 gigahertz, which means yes, technically this wasn't actually the fastest CPU on the block, but, wait, this is 3 gigahertz?
Yeah.
I specifically asked for a 2.4C. Do we have one?
We do. Moving on.
This is what I was really after. So yes, technically, the 2.4 gigahertz chip was not the fastest one, but what it was the lowest cost one that was overclockable to well beyond the fastest thing you could buy from Intel at the time. So we went out of our way to scour eBay for 2.4Cs with the M0 stepping. These things were known to overclock well in excess of 3 gigahertz, maybe even over 4. And remember, this is a 2.4 gigahertz chip. Imagine getting like an 80% overclock on something today.
That would be fun.
Now, the performance still isn't gonna be great, because compared to a Coffee Lake CPU, which does about, 32 instructions per clock, single precision, this is sitting at around 8. And it's only a single core hyper-threaded 32-bit chip. So, Windows XP, anyone?
Should run it well, I think.
Now let's take a look at our motherboard. So this right here is the biggest, baddest motherboard that ever existed for socket 478. It's got pretty much everything you could want. You've got your AGP.
Yeah.
5 PCI. Yeah, that's SATA. And in addition to SATA, you got not 1, not 2, but 3 IDE ports, meaning this thing could support a total of 10 hard drives and a single floppy.
Nice.
It even had like fairly modern features like gigabit LAN, coaxial audio out. Some of these are less modern. There's no USB 3 or anything like that, but who's paying attention? Have you ever installed a socket 478 CPU before?
I think so.
Okay, you wanna do it?
Sure.
There's your arrow, hold on.
Do I need to?
Yeah, you gotta lift up the plastic arm, goes out and up. There we go.
Beautiful.
Do you need help? I don't want you to break it.
I don't need help. We have 2 of them, it's fine.
That is a terrible, terrible approach. Can I have a look at the pins and make sure they're not bent?
Yeah, I feel like one of them might be.
Yeah, there's a slightly bent one. Okay, so there's a bit of a technique for this. You just have to kind of wiggle wobble it.
Okay.
Okay, do we have thermal compound?
No. One moment.
While he's gone, I'm gonna do a bit of a retro peel on our OCZ Platinum Edition Enhanced Latency Dual Channel 2 Gigabyte kit. Check this out. Whoever owned these for all these years never peeled the logo. I actually still love this heat spreader design.
It does look really good.
You could polish them up like really mirror shiny. I think Honestly, the only reason that they don't still do it this way is that it's more expensive. Like these modules are heavy. These are made of solid copper.
Oh, wow. That feels good.
Doesn't it? So these right here are 400 megahertz kits. The chips in them are probably TCCDs, so 232, gas 2, at 2.8 volts. By modern standards, that's a lot of voltage for memory. I'm actually super pleased with how good the condition of all this is. No leaky caps, little bit of dust. I'm so excited for this build.
Yeah, I was a bit afraid going into it that we'd have to like recap basically the whole board before getting it operational, but
No, these look great.
yeah.
So we didn't think we were going to be able to achieve quite the modern look without at least springing for a modern case. So we went with a Phanteks Evolv, tempered glass, just great kind of starting point for any build, pretty clean looking. I think this is gonna turn out really, really nicely.
So one question, with hardware this old, are we going to have a CD player in it?
A CD player? I think you mean an optical drive. Is this the I/O shield that we had for this?
Really doesn't look like it. Yeah,
Really not right.
guess we're making one of those.
Oh man.
It is an extra slap in the face though that they like included the wrong one.
Especially after how much we paid for this thing.
Yeah, that was what, 150 bucks?
Something like that.
That was with the CPU though, not this CPU.
Yeah, I didn't want that CPU though. The only other modern core component we're using is a Seasonic Prime Platinum 1300 watt. It's 80 plus platinum, it's totally overkill, but while we could go back and find something like an Antec True Power 430 watt or something like that, the odds of a power supply that old being 100% reliable are significantly lower than just grabbing a new power supply and using that, and we really don't want to break our hardware. You know what the crazy thing is though? All this cabling still actually works. Like, I don't even know why it is that they do it this way, but on this 1300 watt power supply, the 24 pin connector still breaks away to a 20 pin, and the 8-pin CPU power connector still breaks out into a 4+4. Try and think of like something else that maintained intercompatibility for 15 years.
My grandparents? Oh no.
So that's actually all we need for wiring. We can go ahead and put it in.
I really like these like power supply. You like do all the screws and then you just slide it in.
All right, our board's wired up. I think it's time for us to move on. So we did allow ourselves to take some artistic liberties with the actual year that the hardware came out. So this right here is pretty much as good as it got for an AGP graphics card. This is the Geforce 6800 Ultra. It was built on the 130 nanometer process. It's got 2 Molex connectors and consumed a total of 110 watts. For older games at the sort of target resolution of 1600 by 1200, this thing was an absolute monster.
Yeah, I was looking up some of the reviews and apparently it was like twice as fast as anything that existed before it.
Yep. Well, that was back when hardware used to move at that kind of a pace. Like pretty much every generation that came out turned your previous investment into complete garbage. That's one thing I don't miss. Mismatched PCB colors.
Oh. Maybe we could just take like the backplate off of a Titan or something like that and smack it on.
Oh, that could work. Modding a backplate, I like it.
Not even modding, we could just double-sided tape it on. Another thing that I read about this graphics card is that you had to be really careful about not using Molex that are on the same rail, because apparently it could kill your power supply.
Yeah, that was back when a high-end power supply was 400 watts total, I think, though. Oh, wow. It has a game port. I remember that.
Wait, is that a thing?
Oh, yeah.
Cool.
Did this board have HD or AC97 audio? Of course. How did we overlook this?
Sound cards?
Sound cards. Wow, yeah, onboard audio was just like throwaway anyway, so why bother having a front panel header for it? You know that this case doesn't actually have a 5¼ inch bay, right?
Well, lots of cases don't have things that can be solved with a bit of massaging. We could probably just mount it like down in here, like below, in front of the power supply. You'd have to like open the panel. It wouldn't be convenient at all. What happens if you want to load games on it that way?
I think that's a hard no. So this is a Western Digital Raptor X. And this hails from a time when hard drives could be cool. So this is a 10,000 RPM drive, which decreased seek times, and you can actually see the seek head moving around while the drive's operating. So we have to find a way to get this mounted in like a prominent like place of honor inside the rig. Maybe with like some spotlighting on it. Again, this is a little
Okay,
bit.
let's be careful here. That's barely in. As far as things that we don't want to drop in this build, I think that's number one.
This one would be pretty hard to replace. So are we really hooking this thing up to like a modern gaming monitor?
Yep.
I guess getting our hands on an old like Aperture Grill or a Shadow Mask CRT is probably a lot to ask.
And also, this is just making sure that the core bits work.
Do you want to do the honors? Press it.
I'm kind of scared.
I hope it works. Man, back when stock fans sounded like that, aftermarket cooling really made a lot of sense for everyone.
Oh.
Hey, what? Hey! Oh, nice. Oh man, look at all these like amazing old overclocking options. It's beautiful. Oh, now I'm really excited.
I guess what would you play on this system? Like Unreal Tournament?
You could play some Doom. Not the recent Doom, the other Doom, but not the really old Doom. See, this is why companies shouldn't call games the same thing. It's funny, the AMD fanboys at the time, of which I was one, were all like, hyper-threading, it doesn't make much of a difference. And then it wasn't until a few years later that I actually got my hands on one of these combos that I subsequently got rid of, that I actually tried hyper-threading, and I was like, oh yeah, I know it made a difference. It was pretty common in those days to have multiple different controller chips for the different storage ports on your board, because Intel's own, and AMD's for that matter, own chipsets didn't support a ton of drives. So with these fully featured boards, they'd go and they'd throw, usually it was Promise for the early SATA days, and did that just boot?
Yep.
Okay, cool.
That worked.
Hey, there it is. Can I connect to Windows Update? Well, you can try, but you're not gonna get a chance because we actually don't have network drivers. Is ASUS's site for this still live? Well, all right, it's live. Okay, how about that?
Well, thank you.
No, I don't wanna download updates for search. What? No! This computer will no longer receive blah, blah, blah. Let's try it. Install Steam. Like, does Steam even still work for Windows XP? NVIDIA, your website just doesn't even run on this. All right, we'll grab the latest driver. I wonder what year it was. 2013. Hey,
nice.
That's not that bad. Oh, we seem to have hit a bit of a stumbling block. That really does sort of bring to light an issue with always online DRM solutions. Like any game that I bought on Steam in the Windows XP days, what, I just can't play it? What if I couldn't upgrade my computer? What if it was an old game that doesn't run on Windows 10?
So what are we gonna do for games? Like, I have a couple here that are just on the server.
All right, so what do you want? This is a Doom 3 trial?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, so here it is. We're gonna find out for real, running the Doom 3 demo, if this rig is fully functional, and we are ready to move on to making our ultimate Ricer PC. Oh, what ultra quality was 1024 by 760. I forgot how brutal this game was on hardware back then. Oh, okay. Really? Okay, I guess we're sticking with high quality.
It looks really dark.
Yeah, that was sort of an issue with this game.
Yeah.
So that's it. I'm a little disappointed in the performance. I don't know why I would have been expecting anything else, but
Like, it does the trick.
guys, let us know in the comments if you have any suggestions for particular things you'd like to see us do with the rig, but stay tuned because sometime in, I think, the next couple of months, this is going to undergo a complete transformation. Speaking of complete transformations, Ting is the mobile carrier that's focused on customer service and customer satisfaction. And with Ting, you pay only for what you use, with the average Ting bill coming in at just $23 a month, per device. They have no contracts, and you can try it risk-free, and if you're stuck in a contract with your existing carrier and you switch to Ting, they'll cover 25% of your cancellation fee, up to $75. They've got nationwide coverage from coast to coast in the USA, and data is now just $10 a gig beyond the second gig. They never block, throttle, or interfere with your online access, and you can find out how much you'll save on Ting by going to linus.ting.com and trying out their savings calculator. We used their voicemail to text service and published our number, 1-833-565-LTTVM, to hear some messages from our fans.
I unfortunately don't have access to Ting here in the UK, but I would love to get it. It would save me roughly around about £10 if you were to convert it. So I really do hope we're able to come over here into the UK.
So lower your phone bill at linus.ting.com and get $25 in Ting credit. We'll have that linked below. So thanks for watching, guys. If you disliked this video, you can hit that button. But if you liked it, hit like, get subscribed, or maybe consider checking out where to buy the stuff we featured at the link in the video description. I think the only current things are this power supply in this case. Also down there is our merch store, which has cool shirts like this one, and our community forum, which you should totally join.